up, homies? I'm MarvyMarv. Thanks again for joining me in studio today as we get to chat to a brother who's no stranger to podium and speaking. The film called Black Mambas, which DJ Dums musically supervised on the score, just won the best short film documentary in New York and won another award right here in Jersey at Home Soil. Brother Dums, how you doing, bro?
I'm good,
awesome,
man.
Nice to have you in studio, bro. Nice to have you in studio.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. Just before we get to highlight a whole lot of things that you have achieved as an individual, can you please just share with us and the people, where did it all start for you? You know, if you were to give us a little bit of a background, we do know that you've got a rich retail background, you've got deep love for fashion as well, and your love for music as well. You know, you've been in the game for about over 18 years, if I'm not mistaken. 18 years is a long time, and maybe if you were to share with the people where it all began for you.
Well, it begins from one umbrella, which is I'm an artist, and being an artist, I come from, you know, a very fertile creative industry. My mom was a sangoma. I was born in Durban, King Edward Hospital, and I grew up in between Wamashu and South Coast in Umzumbe. So the artistry sort of like comes from, I'd say, pretty much from home. You know what I mean? Like the listening part, you know, the upbringing. You know, I've been very fortunate. You know, I've lived a good life, you know what I mean?
It sounds like it.
yeah.
I think that explains the wisdom. You know, if you say it all started at home, you know, you were obviously brought up by your mom, and from the learnings, or if you were to share that wisdom with us, you know, I've known you for quite a number of years. You know, you've remained one with me, and I think it's the same expression or gesture that you share with the people that look up to you or even follow you in all the lines of work that you do, you know. So, if we were to follow you, you know, where have you been playing these days, you know?
Well, you can catch me in all the coolest spots, but currently I'm holding a residency at the Chairman Lounge, 146 Makande Road. It's a cool spot, you know, and also I frequent a movement called 5 to 9, which usually happen at the Views. I'm also doing a Sunday at Makosindi Boutique Hotel. I'm also doing a Thursday at the Charlatan, you know, more intimate spaces, because I try by all means to drive the notion of the music. I mean, I'm pretty much influenced by the authentic sound, you know, compared to the current sound, which is sort of like doesn't carry much magnitude of soul, and it doesn't, you know, pretty much carry any artistry. I mean, around it, but I'm not so to say that you know, I'm pretty much against it. But fortunate enough for me, I've been given an opportunity by many people to express my artistry and tell my own story, which is where it comes from, with even the guys in the film industry identifying my potential. You know.
Speaking about soul, I mean, you are a soulful brother, you know, in all rounds or walks of life. Your music deeply does inspire most people or masses who do follow your music, you know. So when you say soul and you differentiate it from the fact that the sound that we have now has a different touch or different element to the sounds, you know, that pretty much says a lot about the sets that you play when you do happen to go to such venues to play your music. Who are the people that you look up to, sorry to cut you short, that you look up to, that inspired you or instilled that deep soul in you for you to have such an ear or listen or play such music?
Well, I'm fortunate enough, you know, I'm inspired by a simple man on the street, man. You know, a guy on a taxi, you know what I mean? They might be dressed up anyhow. Yeah. But when it comes to the music, it's the artists that have a good conviction. I mean, if I were to say on top of my head, you know, I'm very much inspired by John Coltrane, who's a phenomenal artist in my own understanding, and currently on the electronical scene, I'm very much inspired by Kenny Dixon Jr., who is popular known as Moody Man. But also, it's a music thing is not a very sort of like an island type of a thing. So for me, I'm very much inspired by the people around me. I mean, I get music from all walks. You know, if I were to start like name dropping right now, you know,
it'll take the whole day.
It will take the whole day, brother. You know what I mean? We will get this finished, you know, because you know, each and every person will come to me and actually give me music on, even most probably advise me, you know what I mean? So I strongly believe that music is a collective thing, you know.
Yes, that actually gets to my next question. I mean, you're a brother that has been traveling. I mean, you've been traveling nationally and abroad.
No, nationally.
Nationally?
Yeah.
You've been traveling nationally.
Yeah.
So with the collections that you make, obviously you go to different spots. Where are these hotspots where we can get you? Like if you play places like Cape Town or Johannesburg, are there places that you are go to?
Look, the scene has changed drastically. But if I were to revert back to your question, I've done a residency at Fatback Soul, which is now defunct, in Cape Town on Long Street. If I were to tell you about that spot, you'll pretty much get my drift when musically, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I've done the waiting room in Cape Town, but most of the time it's pretty much events driven and more concept driven, you know what I mean? Rather than, I wouldn't like to mention the sport per se, but in Joburg, like I've done stuff with the Avante Garde guys, you know what I mean? I've done stuff with the Kenzero, whom I hold him dearly closely to me, and I've done stuff at Constitutional Hill, which was a good concept. I've done stuff at the new basement. I was very fortunate to play with the great Greg Maloka and with the Avante Garde guys. I've played with Rich Medina, the one and only, Rich Medina. Yeah, man, yeah. So, and like I've been spreading my horizon even in KZN. I'd like to play more, but there's not many like sort of like open-minded spaces. Like as I said, I do the views. I do Richard Spade. They've shown interest at Cubana. You know what I mean? So I'll be doing some residency as well there, and the Makosini Boutique Hotel, we do our Sundays there. So it's pretty much more conceptualized driven. I mean, you know, if you've got a nice place, you know, with a good energy and resonate, I'm there to
with
play.
Your spirit,
yeah,
which is Zen Chi.
100%, my brother. 100%.
Maybe if you were to express to the people, you know, I mean, you always use the hashtag Zen Chi, or at the closing of every caption that you make, you always put down Zen Chi. Maybe just to quickly elaborate on that and get the people who are watching or following Dums, you know, to get a better understanding of what Zen Chi stands for, what it means.
Well, you know, I think I come from a different school, you know, unlike from the instant gratification culture, you know what I mean? Zen Chi is a constant search of mankind's spirituality, which is fused with a lot of like sonic sound, energy, and being closer to the source. Because I strongly believe that if you have a pure mindset, then you can be closer to the source. Let it be, others call him Allah, others call him God, others call him Umhlanga, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, it's the source, it's what resonates with us as humans, you know what I mean? So it's a constant search of being closer to the source, so that, you know, I can be used in order to deliver and see great things in mankind compared to the negative things. That's pretty much like the first part of it. The other two parts, I'll have you to kidnap you and
we'll definitely touch base on that. We'll definitely touch base on that, man. On one of our coffee meetings. I mean, we're talking to each other and we have coffee, and these are the great chats that I always have with you.
100%, 100%.
What are your favorite spots, your favorite hangout spots? You sound like a very soulful person. Like, if there are any spots where one who's like yourself can find themselves going to have lunch or meetings, whatever, what are those spots that you go to?
Well, I have to be honest with you. My favorite spot is my house with my wife and my kids.
Family, you know? Man, huh?
Yeah, it's my wife and my kids.
Nice.
Always, true story. I kid you not, true story. However, I'm fortunate enough that my favorite spot is where I work at, which is the Chairman Lounge.
Lovely.
So in Port, you know, so it's my favorite spot. You know what I mean? If I feel like having a drink, or if I feel like chilling. But as in terms of food, like every day, you know, food, you can catch me at Chow Bella, I think.
Chow Bella.
Yeah, which is close by to the Chairman, you know. I think they do clean food. I mean, some of my friends, you know, I mean, they eat clean, you know. You can see them.
And you've been practicing the same thing.
Yeah, man, they eat clean, you can tell, you know. I mean, I'm talking like the guys that I hang around a lot, you know, Sandile, Brendan, you know, they eat clean. You know?
They eat clean. You guys share the same sense of music, like wow, same fashion sense.
Actually, it's just that I'm not vocal about it, but I have a better musical sense. I let them shine. You know,
you let them shine.
Yeah, both of them. You know?
Lovely, man, lovely. I mean, it's quite tough for people who are artists such as yourself. You know, you travel quite a lot. You're out and about playing, you know, at different venues.
Yes.
So you're telling us now, or sharing with me rather, that you're always home, or you love being at home with your family and kids. So family time is imperative, you know. So I think that's where you get your source of calmness when you're with your family as well.
100%. You know, I think I always go to these venues, and at times I find these guys with bigger houses. I'm talking houses, you know what I mean? In places that like. But it's cold, man. You know, it's cold. You know, I think my house it's warmer and small in a sense that the love and the values and the ethics, as I said, it's like my upbringing. Like, I'm not made as a DJ. I mean, by myself. You know, I was very much influenced, like in Durban scene, like guys like DJ Spice, you know what I mean? I used to go and get records for me. And we started that relationship, and up until today, he still calls me and says, Dums, check out this track, you know what I mean? And I don't look at it like in a sense that since he's telling me to look at the track, that it's a matter of like taking away. I mean, if something is yours, it's yours. Yes. So that being said, it's to listen and be humble and be more content with yourself. It's what will keep you thriving within this tough industry.
In this industry.
Yes, 100%. You know what I mean? You know, you have to know your value at the same time. You know what I mean? Which, if you don't have a guideline or something to benchmark on, like for me, my family and kids and the people that I keep close, who are like my brothers. You know what I mean? I don't have friends. You are my younger brother, for that matter. You know what I mean?
Yes,
you know what I mean? So it's I mean, you know, I've been fortunate enough.
Yes, absolutely. And we've been fortunate to have you to spread the word, to influence us, to guide us and take us under your wing, you know, to show us the right way of having to lead by example, or lead as young creatives in this very creative and competitive space.
Thank you so much.
If people were to find you on social media, how can people look you up on social media?
Well, it's so easy. I'm Dums the Gift on Instagram, Dumi Khwela on Facebook.
Awesome.
And Twitter, Dums at Zen Chi.
Dums at Zen Chi.
Yeah, that's my Twitter handle, as they say it in these days.
Lovely. Yeah. Well, you already heard it from the man. You know where to catch him on social media. HOMii.
Yes.
What is it that you love about HOMii?
Man, you know, I'll be dead honest with you. What I love most about HOMii is the respect and the sensitivity of a property developer towards his tenants. Because I mean, we in Durban, I've seen. I always speak to a number of people, architects, which come into my ways, and entrepreneurs. We love Durban, but unfortunately enough, is the mere fact that Durban has become totally uninhabitable for us, as in terms of like the aesthetics, in terms of design, in terms of like maintaining, you know what I mean, that whole urban living. And then I was taken on a tour to all the HOMii spaces. I mean, currently the one in Free Street. I was gobsmacked, man. I kid you not. I was like, if I didn't have a family, you know, if
you'd move in,
if ever for any other reason, I were to actually score some little bit of fortune, I will pretty much buy a place of residence there where I can sort of like relax, absolutely, you know, with the views of the harbor. But I was very much sort of like honored to see that we have a property developer who's very much in tune. I mean, it ticked all the rightful boxes that I would want
Absolutely.
for a person which shows dignity.
Absolutely.
Previously, you would find someone, they will put a building, and then they will just charge the rent. Don't care about the upgrade. I mean, we went there. That space has like a working space for entrepreneurs. It has a gym. It's working towards on a radio station, internet radio station. It touches. It has evolved.
Complimentary Wi-Fi, bro.
Tell me about it. You know what I mean? And the aesthetics alone. I mean, from every aspect. The security as well. You know what I mean? The visible assistance. You know what I mean? For because as we evolve, we can't all shift at the same time. You know what I mean? So for me, hands up to the HOMii team.
Explained it to me. I think I'm not even going to ask you the question of which is your favorite city, because I think that alone just says that Durban is still your favorite city, which is under the sun. So you've traveled quite a lot and you've seen the cities, and I mean, you're born and bred in Durban, so there it is. I think that's my answer.
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. I mean, I have had opportunities to live even up to abroad, you know, but for some reason it always resonated. I'm like, hey, you know what?
Embedded here.
100%.
This is home.
This is home, homie. That's you.
That's a good one. Dums, my brother, thank you so much for making time for us today, bro. Before we go, though, to keep the culture alive on the streets with our homies, I'm just going to quickly teach you how to do the HOMii handshake. It goes, and then it close, and then we go like that.
Yeah.
So just a quick one before we close. There we go. That's the HOMii handshake. Signing off with DJ Dums. Well, you've heard it from the man himself, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again for tuning in, and be sure to keep an eye out on our timelines, where we'll be dropping hot mixes by DJ Dums himself. HOMii Lifestyle.